Hello there. Okay, now a few people are triggered. No Obi-Wan Kenobi or Flammo memes here. I today want to present you a battle which is a bit of a relief for me. And I play the Panzer 470 V, which is an amazing tank, I have to say. Probably one of the hidden jewels in or jewelries within the German tech tree that not a lot of people are aware of or forget about it afterwards. And what it basically is a 5.3 tank destroyer, more or less with a Panzer 4 chassis, but with stronger frontal armor that's also sloped backwards, with practically no weak spot, very bouncy, and a fantastic gun, the long 75mm gun that is more or less copy and paste to the Panther. Of course, there isn't a muzzle brake, and it just looks awesome. And there are some additional tracks where they really matter, especially on the left side of the vehicle, or if you look at it, the right side, where 3 of the 4 crew members are. So it further increases your armor protection, your effective armor protection. The lower glacis is weaker than the rest of the front, which is 80mm thick, sloped backwards at 50 degrees, so you can even bounce 85mm rounds. Yeah, it's that strong. And the lower glacis, well, it has, like the Tiger II chassis, a transmission behind it, and it actually works. I love this tank, and I actually don't cover it as much as it deserves. It's a fantastic tank. You'll see it throughout this battle, but it's not flawless. Of course, compared, for example, to a Hellcat, which is an American tank destroyer, you lack the mobility, and you have no turret, and you have no heavy machine gun. All those things make the Hellcat very nice to play, fitting the meta, so to speak. And talking about the meta, what is that? Yeah, I saw it, I positioned myself, and we shoot the Jumbo right through the frontal glacis and one-shot him. Yeah, this is the power of this tank. And just as I look around the corner, I see, this is a British tank, and it just stopped turning because the engine didn't have the power, and it just can reverse now and turn with the reverse speed of at maximum 7 kilometers an hour. But rolling backwards, it can go faster because of the heavy slope. We shoot right through the turret front of the Comet, but the weak charge doesn't empty the turret, and thankfully the Ferry Tiger behind me kills the CIS 43 that shot me in the back, which eventually would have killed me. So what we have now here is a classical standoff. And what can you do? Because I'm not quite sure with which ammunition this Comet is shooting, and he actually didn't use the chance to drive around me, but maybe he thought I could still turn, and I still could use the target behind me. So I want to shoot his cupola or something like this. Now I decide to go a bit forward and try to aim at the rear of the tank to maybe set the engine on fire, and it splashed down, but the transmission is just red, and he shoots me and he bounces, and he drives up, and I stabilize just in time to now destroy the transmission. But he can reverse once more, not angling too much, because if this happens, he shot the transmission again, I couldn't turn, and I have a restricted firing angle. This is fun for me. And I destroyed him, because there was no way out of this situation for him. Now, the tank just captured A while ago. I have the support still of the Ferry Tiger, and I still have to repair. And this is where I actually have time to repair. So, this tank, to play it, is a relief. Now, why do I play this tank? First of all, it got a new upgrade, the smoke launchers, for smoke screens. I want to research it because I'm a completionist, and I wanted to show you something else as just the M1 Abrams tank review that I'm currently working on, which I played the entire day, which for me personally is just point and click. And I think this is at some point I get fed up with it. I played too much high tier tanks at the moment, and I think War Thunder is very good at giving you a certain feeling when driving or flying certain, vehicles, tanks, aircrafts. And those are mostly about the World War II era. A bit before, a bit afterwards, I'm okay with this. But with high penetration, high muzzle velocity, APFSDS, shooting the enemy tank basically somewhere, and the point and click adventure, it's just not the most immersion that I get out of it. Let's put it that way. It's fun for a while, but then I need a break. Then I need to play, lower tiers. Not for seal clubbing purposes, but just to play War Thunder for what it feels like to be designed for, Second World War stuff. Now, this is not completely true, because there are also tanks and planes from the pre-World War II era and Cold War era in the game that are also fitting the meta. Nice kill here on the M18 Hellcat, which was distracted by the Ferry Tiger. This is a bit of a teamwork here, but back to the topic. I think you really get the immersion, the feeling, the satisfaction out of playing War Thunder at lower tiers. At higher tiers, the insane grind, the insane frustration, the imbalance, all this is just insane. And at this battle rating, 5.3 and below, you still have fun. 5.7, you very often get a fake matchmaker in the Tiger facing still 6.7 British with APDS, quick reload and stabilizers, and that is not fun. That is outright disgusting. So I drove here just into B. I have no intention of really capturing it. The most important task here was to stop the ticket bleed, and now I have to investigate what actually captured A. Previously I pinged the map for that one tank that now has found himself between A and the enemy spawn zone. Maybe he has no chance to get out of there. He pings the map, and I want to help him. I want to get a kill. I want to also capture A, but a T-34-85 has actually killed the other Panzer 470 foul. And yeah, back to this tank. Absolutely love it. It's a fantastic tank. Strong frontal armor with actually no weak spots, low profile, decent gun depression, powerful gun, and no stabilizer. So when I just thought it would be stabilized, it jumped up again, but now I have the shot behind the building with the APHE into the cupola of the T-34-85, killing him. That was nice. And this is just what I love, that the tanks are not all insanely fast. By the way, some people compare the high tier tanks like tanks in arcade. That is not true. Like the realistic tanks that are currently driving around, even something like the Challenger, they just love at arcade tanks, below battle rating 7.0. They are in realistic faster than an arcade Hellcat. Just think about this. And I've played arcade long enough to notice this, or to judge this. And we actually get shot here. What's that? Seems like a light tank, an American light tank. Let's see what we can do about this. I want to capture the point. I don't want to get shot in the flank. The American 75mm is very capable of punching through the 20-30mm of side armor. Let's see if we can somewhat side scrape or get ourselves in position. Oh, he got shot. And just as I get the gun on target, the Ferry Tiger again kills a tank, this time the M24. So let's move up and let's try to help him, and let's see what's going on there. He seems to have shot another T-34-57 and now got killed by the L2. Oh, that's actually a shame. What a shame. Let's see if I can get my hands on the Ferry Tiger as well in some point in the future. Did you see that? Did you see that? There was a potato truck. And now this is where the ammunition selection comes in. So this tank has no access to APCR. It also doesn't need it. But some high explosive shells are always something that I take with me. You don't have a heavy machine gun like the Hellcat. You don't have a turret. You know, you need to hull break the enemies. And this was extremely bad shooting here. That was just simply a slow reaction, and we reload the high explosive shell and hull break the CCKW. That's the French SPA, right? Yeah. That was a fantastic tank. Fun to drive, actually. And now we move on. But what should we do now? And this is where many people make a big mistake. That they just overextend. So I reverse and I want to investigate the upper part of the map, going to the center, because I always can I always can go back down here, but it always takes time to put energy into the tank, climbing a hill and so forth. To go down a hill is never a problem. So yeah, it's a big relief to play a low tier tank, to bring in the fun for me, to get away from the stress that high tier tanks are, and to really feel what War Thunder is for me personally about. It's more the Second World War tank than the point and click adventure that modern tanks are, with their frustrating grind, with their long grind, the insane RP requirements for modules, and just a very tough competition. And I'm not just talking here about to have a good tank and to be able to play it, but to play the meta. And this is something where high tier tanks currently, with the stabilizer, APFSDS, the quick reloads, it just is very fast paced, too fast paced for my taste. Pun not intended. But honestly, I think, this World War II stuff just simply catches my eye. It is where War Thunder is best at. And I think this is something that I missed for too long. So, the Ostwind actually gives some distraction fire. Let's see if I can get another shot in. Nah, that was bad. The cupola comes up again, and just as I want to shoot, it just doesn't get into the cupola, but I'm more or less a bit hull down actually. The KV-85 wants the Ostwind, but he has some problems over the hill with the gun depression, and I punish him. I'm not quite sure if he ever has seen me, despite being in plain sight right in front of him, but it doesn't really matter. 6 kills. Yes, that was nice. And this is not like 6 kills in the M1 Abrams where you just shoot and scoot around the battlefield with the stabilizer. This is, proper aiming, proper shooting, and getting rewarded for it. I should play this tank more often. It's a fantastic tank and I had fun playing it. Much more fun than in the previous 20-30 games that I played today in the M1 Abrams. Nevertheless, yeah, I highly recommend to play this tank. The premium version is actually not that desirable through the big center portion. That is a weak spot, despite being 80mm thick. So in this case, the tech tree version is, in my opinion, much better than the premium version. And maybe this is the reason why Gaijin didn't sell too many of the Panzer 470 Rs, and just the people playing the V version, the tech tree version. And I kind of understand this. Maybe this led Gaijin to sell more and more competitive premiums. Yeah. So I'd love to get a 7th and 8th kill, but sadly the time there is not enough time. I'm too slow for the repositioning. I hear some SPAs shooting. CIS-12 just killed the duck. What a shame. And that's a bit of a pity. Well, the enemy team was down to just 2 people at this point, I think. And yeah, for me it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired as all hell. Tank review on the M1 Abrams is coming out in the next few days. And despite being tired, I had fun playing this battle. And just in a moment, the tickets bleed down. The enemy aircraft's coming in, and he got shot down. Yes. And we get the survival medal, which is always nice. Yes. So let's have a quick look at the post-battle results. And nice bonus, 7,500 silver lines. Just, you know, throw it up the pile of my 112 million. Yeah, 45,000 silver lines and 3,300 research points, giving me the smoke grenades, which I wanted to research in one battle. That's a nice thing. Ace battle, 6 kills, survivor, first in team with nearly 1900 score points. That's a decent result. So I hope you enjoyed the battle as much as I did. I know it's a bit of a low tier stuff in comparison to what I did in the last 2 weeks, but I think it's really good to step back from time to time to enjoy what you have already researched and spaded and, you know, played in the past, to maybe see yeah, how it was and what is different to what you're currently playing. And I think this is much more fun, and fun is what we should play the game for. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this, if you agree, disagree, if you really like the new stuff more than the Second World War II stuff. The World War II stuff. Sorry about this. And as usual, don't forget to give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields of War Thunder.